Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. You know, a lot of my brothers are dead or gone, but they've been hanging on the block a little too long. What can I say? I hope they live to see a brighter day. And the ones that are doing fine, God bless you, 'cause you're doing fine. At the end of the day, don't forget about me. As days turn to weeks, and weeks turn to years, oh, I feel for my brother. And as time passes by, I see you're not satisfied. Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. The street life used to be on, straight up hustling till the break of dawn. Taught me how to do wrong right, everything is tight. But somehow things started to change. Try to get us straight up out of the game. You couldn't see what I saw. The empire was starting to fall.
Hey, what's up? We're here. Welcome to Black Reality Unscripted. I'm here. I'm Dante Miles.
I'm Kimsa. How's everybody doing?
Listen, first, I would like to use my manners first. I would like to give a great big shout out to Yowawa Media for offering us this platform and allowing us our voices to be heard in the community. Tonight, we have two awesome people on the other side of the screen, and we would like them to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Shayna.
And I'm Kayla.
Hey, we got an interesting show for you guys tonight. Real talk. One of the main things that we've noticed, of course, here in the city of Niagara Falls is that we have had a high number of homicides. I stand to be corrected, but I'm sure everyone that's watching will agree. And so tonight's topic, as if you've seen my page earlier, is community accountability. I believe that we should, we have to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's an uncomfortable conversation that a lot of us don't want to have in many cases because, you know, it makes us feel uncomfortable. You know, we were a part, you know, we went to the protests and you seen all of those who were, you know, screaming at the police and everything. But at some point, at what point do we stop turning that blind eye and that deaf ear to what we're actually doing ourselves?
Right.
You know what I mean? So let's just put it out there. You know, let's talk about it. Let's like, how do you feel, Kim? So when it comes down to, like, of course, we see the prayer vigils and all of the other things. What is your take on what we do to our own that look like us? You know what I mean?
I think we should definitely have more accountability because my father was murdered by another man that looked like him, that looked like myself. And for reasons I don't understand, jealousy, money, you know, I don't know. But I figure we got to find a way to get everybody to understand that it's better to be alive than dead. Like, are you that mad at somebody that you want to take them off this earth? Like, are you that unhappy with yourself that you would rather see somebody you call your enemy off this earth? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So we got to start figuring out what our real issues is. Is it because we just don't have access to money? Is it because we don't have access to resources that we are so angry at our brothers and sisters that we lash out and harm them? Like, a young woman was beat to death not too long ago. It's like, come on, like, what is going on? Like,
right. So speaking of, you know, and we, because we have young women here, we definitely, I love the get their perception of what is going on in the community. So Shayna, tell me, give me your thoughts.
I don't know. I think it's awful right now. Definitely during a time where we got all of this Black Lives Matter and we got police killing black people. Definitely the black men. And then we got black men killing black men. So we can't be screaming that we want these police not to do this to us when we're doing it to ourselves.
Right.
Definitely right now in our backyard, like it's these deaths that's been going on, like they touch everybody.
Right.
In some way in Niagara Falls, we all connected. Like whether it's a long distance cousin or, your mother grew up with my mother or my grandmother babysitted you, like we all connected. So it hurts everyone.
Right. What about you, Kayla?
Sorry. One of the things I was thinking about or that I heard was someone said that we learn through trauma, repetition, and pictures. So I feel like with everything going on, but having that constant exposure to this stuff, like all this stuff that causes you to be heightened or feel fearful, so you have to know when it's times to know what's going on and when times to actually get back into, being in charge of your own emotions. You know what I mean? Like if you constantly keep seeing something happen, you're going to be triggered. Things are going to trigger you more often. So like a lot of things are going on right now, but I feel like people are overstimulated as well. You know what I mean? Anything is setting people off. I'm not saying that we should be doing the things that we're doing, but we also have to know when it's time for us to really take that time to self-evaluate. So it's still about accountability, but knowing when you're feeling overstimulated and you need to, take space. I feel like this is a lot for me. So when I see this stuff and people keep sending you stuff and sharing stuff with you, I almost have to tell people like, yo, chill out. Like this is really causing me some discomfort. You know what I mean? Not saying that you run away from it, but you have to know when you've had enough for yourself. You know what I mean? And when you just need to, sorry.
So no, you're good. No, that's what we're here for.
Talk.
Right.
So let me give a disclaimer because I don't want anybody to get any misconceptions when it comes down to this conversation that we have. In no way, shape, or form am I giving any passes or condoning the killing of the unarmed black men and women in our country. You know what I mean? Because we've heard the term over and over and over, black on black crime. We hear it all the time. We've heard it for decades. And I had it was a post that I had actually chimed in on of someone who gave some very untrue, very fuzzy statistics concerning blacks killing blacks in comparison to whites killing whites. And I had to post the actual facts, which were actually FBI approved.
Right.
Yes, black killings by those who are black at the hands of those who are black, yes, it's 91%. That's high. Okay. But when we look at in the same token, 84% of the white deaths are done by other whites. So 7% is not that great of that big of a
margin.
difference.
No,
margin. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna, so this is not one of those, see, they're killing themselves, so that's why, we're killing it. You know what I mean? So we don't want anybody to ever get that twisted, to ever think that there's any pass that's going to be given for the deaths of people who are unarmed and being killed at the hands of those who are actually paid with their tax dollars to serve and protect them. So that's my disclaimer.
My question is, it shouldn't be no black on. It's not even a question. It shouldn't even be no black on black, white on white, because the question should be, what's going on in America? Why are black people killing black people at heightened numbers? Why are white people killing white people at heightened numbers?
Right.
Why are people killing people in heightened numbers in general in this so-called greatest land? Why are we got all these damn murderers?
Right.
You know what I think? Because right now, it's so easy to get a gun.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so easy to get a gun. Before, you couldn't get a gun that easy.
Yeah.
That's starting. Like now, anybody can get a hold of a gun.
Right.
And in any situation, whether you went out intentionally to kill somebody or you just got in a situation, once you had that gun on you and you had that pistol, like, you're ready to just use it. Not knowing that you're going to kill somebody, but you do.
Right. See, and what happens is a lot of people, you know, when you actually go and get a license, when you go through the process and you pay your money and you take these tests and you go through the process to actually get your license, of course, you're more, in most cases, you're more responsible.
Responsible. Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew what it took for me, so I'm like, hey, like, I'm not just gonna go out here and cut a fool and then get that, you know, right taken away from me because of something stupid or me doing, you know, me making a short-term decision, a long-term decision off of a short-term emotion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but what it is it's a lot of the illegal guns that make you reckless. You know what I mean? Because it's a serial number that's scratched off. And you know, you can go like Shannon says, you can go and get it easily without, you know, batting an eye. You go holler at one person, they can take you to my plug, and now you got a gun. And what happens is when people get these guns, they feel invincible. That gun on their hip is like a battery pack in their back, and they feel like, yo, like, I'm good, can't nothing stop me. And if somebody look at me wrong or somebody disrespect me, I'm gonna pull this piece out and do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? So
and don't let it be drugs involved. Like, if you had a drink that day, if you just had a bad day that day, and you seen your enemy, like
that's it. You know what I'm saying? So, how do we address? How do we address it? Like it's, you know, like I said at the last show, we can talk all day about what's wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But how do we address what would be like our first step? I know a lot of it is community engagement. Like, we have to engage people and not be afraid to have these conversations.
That's true.
So it's like, what would be that, I would say, initial step?
Try to draw the youth to respect us old guys now, I guess, because we are the old guys now. You know, I'm 30, so I'm not the young guy running around that can be like, hey, you know, I can't relate. You know, the music's different, everything's different now. Mm-hmm. So I gotta try to find a way to connect with them and try to tell them, like, it's better to let your enemy live. Like, maybe I can go to a boxing ring and just box it out. You know what I mean? And then, to me, I love boxing. Sparring a dude you got problems with, or just having a boxing match with somebody, you gain so much more respect for that other person because y'all went out there and y'all handled yourselves. Y'all can talk afterwards. Like, I just feel like we need to have more elders in the community somehow engage with the youth, but I don't know how. Like, I don't know how to make the youth somehow look at me and be like, you know, I respect this man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the Audi. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting my brand new business, trying to make it from the come up. So that the struggle story isn't always glamorous. That's why these rappers are winning. You know what I mean? So we just got to find a way to show them that hard work can also you know, get you where you want to be. It could also get you that Audi, but it's just going to take those steps, and then that grind will also mold you and mature you to be a man. So I just feel like we just got to champion that more so than quick, fast money.
Well, watch this, because we got two beautiful young ladies on the other side. I'm glad you mentioned the Audi, right? Because let's be honest, and I make this statement a lot, and I like it because it sparks conversation. I say women rule the world, right? I say it because most of what we do as men, in most cases, we're doing it for the attention of the woman. Right?
I agree.
What women glorify, men will usually follow suit. You know what I mean? You know, if no women ever glorified the dope boy idea, you know what I'm saying, that it wouldn't be as popular. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be. I'm not saying it would be. It would go away.
I think the money is what attracts. Money because money is comfort. So wouldn't that attracts even friends? So they even get groupie dudes around them. You know what I mean? So I think it's more so just the character. Like, we got to change what a woman is attracted to, I guess.
Right, but
I don't know how to.
But again, like I said, it's now, although it is the money behind it, if it's more so like if women made made it really clear that we're interested in men that are business owners and men that are aspiring to do something positive
Right.
and not sell poison to our community. And
They gotta
really,
see it though.
They,
Niagara
yeah,
Falls,
they,
you can't see that.
Right.
They can see it, but the
it is all over. All over. It is the money. We got to talk about it. I mean, it is the money.
I definitely think it's the money. I mean, Niagara Falls is a poor city. Everybody around us is poor.
Right.
And the thing is, for men, if you're not busy, you trying to find what you getting into stuff. That's like with my son. I keep him busy because I don't want your mind to go somewhere else. And it's easy to get distracted, and now you're in a situation that you can't get out. But if you busy, you got something to do. You got a job to go to every day.
Right.
You know, you got responsibilities. You got people who depend on you. You got less time to get in trouble because you're busy all day.
Right.
So I was thinking that as far as you were saying women that like men with money, but even as women who have children, you know, you have to keep yourself busy. So
Right.
you don't meet men.
That's
You
a
get
fact.
what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
So as far as
We don't want to talk about the dating pool in Niagara Falls. That's all.
That's bad for y'all too. I hear about
Definitely in your
bad for y'all.
30s. You're not dating nobody out here.
so as far as you know, liking men that have money, it's like a man also is kind of intimidated. I was told I was intimidated. Like, you're intimidating because I have my own stuff, you know. So it's not. What about a woman who, I'm not even gonna say makes money or that works? A woman that works.
That's a dude that's just insecure because my woman works. So I'm,
You know what I mean? But
content in
you
that.
saying something as like, far as having money, but I'm like,
Right.
I'm not saying I have a lot of money, but I have
Good.
my own money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like,
I guess the right people ain't attracted to the right-minded people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I always say that. I'd be like,
all the time.
you don't find, you know what I mean? You don't find what you're really looking for until it's like too late. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It's like, dang, like, or you just don't see that person sometimes. Like, sometimes you just gotta weave through it and you'll find that person. But it's tough. It's definitely tough. Like,
So
Definitely tough.
what as far as the ladies are concerned, would you say that or agree that what the bar set, would that have, I'm not saying that's the cure. That's not the cure to what's going on right now. But as we know that women do, you have that power when it comes down to men. I mean, like, I think it was, who was it? Dave Chappelle that said if women were okay with living in cardboard boxes, that day, the price and stock of cardboard boxes would shoot out the
Would
roof.
go up.
Because we would go there and buy up every last ounce of cardboard box because we found out that that's what women like.
but then we gotta make sure the man is not, you know, fixated on these fake looking women.
And I was just about to say
Because
that.
Right.
I was
these
just about to
dudes,
say that.
They be
like,
over here looking for these Cardi B's and
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, these girls are basic.
I think these men are not being raised to be like strong men.
Right.
To
Right.
look for
Right.
a strong woman to want, you know, it's
Right.
easy to get a girl that's going to not give you a hard time or
Right.
cause you a headache or don't have a voice.
or that's not
But
gonna
if
cook
you
or
get
clean.
somebody who's going to tell you like, nah, that's not right. You need to do it this way or let's try it that way.
No, right.
You going to walk away from that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's probably, I mean, it's not the cure, but and the reason why I say that, that's just one portion of us raising a bar, period. Like us raising a bar in the community, like what we expect of our people. You know what I'm saying?
I blame more guys. I ain't
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
hold
no, absolutely. I mean, we're
believe
supposed
the
to be,
guy.
Yeah.
we supposed to be leaders. We
elevate
should
the
be
woman.
right. We should be, and to the point where some, you know, have enough about us, have enough substance. That's the
Right.
word I want to use. Have enough substance with us, where a woman would want to lead, want to roll with us, want to rock
Right.
with us. You know what I'm saying? And be able to be okay with how we steer the ship. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what happens is when you don't have that substance and you kind of following the way the wind blows, and then you following the flavor of the month, and you out here and you hitting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and so I don't know. I'm trying to I don't have the answers.
Then I guess my message just be to the guys is, you know, those independent women might just had a mind for you, like to actually channel your money in the legal way and actually make you move right. You know what I mean? Like, you hear how Gucci Mane did certain things, like certain rappers that changed their life. It was based off their women. It wasn't off his own merit. You know what I mean? He
Right.
actually said it was off of his woman. So my thing is, don't be afraid of that woman that's gonna stand up to you. You know what I mean? Like actually champion that and be like, you know, I'm gonna consider her advice. You know what I mean? And actually move correct. I ain't saying you got to do it right away. You know what I mean? But take those steps, because I believe a good, strong woman is needed in a relationship, or else you're gonna fold. Like that's just how I feel.
So even I don't know what I'm having. So even when Dante said about I don't forgot what I was gonna say. But as far as, you know, I always say the woman protect her head. People think that's like covering, but that like her own physical covering. But I believe that means that, you know, you kind of the man will do what a woman says. So Dante say the woman got the power. So essentially, the man will do what the woman says. So you have to make sure that you're in a good mindset that if you say boo, he gonna know what that means. You know what I mean? Not boo in a negative way, but mean if you say, you know, I think we should do this, he'll know that you got it together enough to know like that's a good move. You know what I mean? That you guys work together. So I was just thinking of the fact when he say women have the power, it's like you have to know that you have the power and know that you have to have yourself in a good position as well to make this, like to say that I think we should do this and for him to follow. Like,
I agree.
So I'm gonna slide into another portion of this. It's basically still talking about community accountability, and I've had this conversation with a few people. The churches. So listen, I mean, for some it's a touchy subject, but there has to be a level of accountability with our spiritual leadership when it comes down to, like, the church used to be the cornerstone of the community, the black community. When there was issues, a lot of times they come together and they bond together and they say, okay, well, let's come together, because at the end of the day, I always say it, I'm like, listen, if you can get 50, 100, 150, some places 300, 400, 500 people to come and congregate in a building and listen to you talk for an hour, iron their good clothes on the day off, you have a level of influence, right?
That's true.
So my thing is, you know, I don't have that. I don't know if any of us really have that type of following per se, where you got families that are willing to come and rock with you on your, you know what I mean, on their day off and, you know, cut into their cooking time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where do you see the churches at this present time in this climate, especially in the city of Niagara Falls?
This might not be a topic for me, man, because I'm not Christian. So.
No. But I mean, just from your perspective, or from your point of view, like, I'm not, because we're not pushing religion or any of that. Like, at the end of the day, but what happens is we do know that there are a lot of churches out. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be nice to see them all come together and try to push for a positive message for Niagara Falls, but
you don't see them, is what?
Yeah, I just don't see them. I see everybody on Sunday go there, or you know.
So ladies, I'm gonna turn that question right over to y'all too, because I mean it's reality, because we have the accountability has to be held on all ends.
I think there is a lot of. I think we had this conversation before, and I think there are a lot of churches, you know, everywhere you look. But I feel like there is a type of governing body that makes them feel that there's a separation of, you know, not having unity, I guess. But I feel like, I don't know, I forgot what I was saying.
Well, I'll put it this way, because I mean, listen, because it can be a different, like, for some it's a difficult subject. It's not for me, you know what I mean? I was born and raised in the church, you know what I mean? And I would say this, like, you know, a lot of times we hear, well, you know, separation of church and state, and, you know, we can't talk about X, Y, and Z. 501c3 doesn't. That's only tax exempt. It doesn't make you exempt.
And that's why I feel like I said different governing bodies, because they're 501c3s, and that's what I was saying. Most churches are tax exempt, for instance, and so I'm feeling like that's what I was saying as far as governing bodies.
Right.
So I feel like they have to do certain things, even though they won't say that. You know what I mean? It's certain things that they're allotted to do, or that are willing to do, because they know there is some type of organization or like
Yeah, no, it is. Well, I mean,
responsibility, like
501c3 definitely is one of the possible issues. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For me, because what happens is sometimes our local, our religious or our spiritual leaders per se can hide behind that. And I always say, I'm like, listen, that doesn't make you exempt from caring or showing up to a city council
What's
meeting.
in the word? Like, what's in the book?
Right.
You know what I mean? I may not be Christian, but I read the book. So, like, aren't you going to follow what's in the book? The people out here are dying.
And when do we actually stand up? You know what I'm saying? And we have to. So I think that, like, the accountability in that area here, because we have so many churches. I mean, and when I say in the most
four corners, there's four churches on one corner.
We
right,
have so many black churches.
Black churches.
Black
That's what it
churches.
is.
black churches,
Yeah.
and watch this, in impoverished communities.
Right.
So when we have, and I always say, you can't talk about crime without talking about poverty. Well, when you have these churches that are in the areas and where a lot of these crimes are taking place, and a lot of these issues are readily available. When you have those churches that are operating in that same arena, when like don't you care? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type of things. I had someone today ask me, in the midst of all of this, where is the ministerial council? And guess what? I couldn't say nothing. I'm like, I don't know. I'm wondering the same thing, but but I have to do what I have to do. You know what I mean? However, I think it can be a sore subject for some, but we have to be able to address that. You know what I mean? Because leaders, and I'm talking about from every aspect, because y'all know a lot of times I'm at city council and I'm flipping out and banging on the podium talking, but if I'm holding them accountable, I have to hold everybody else accountable as well. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be a leader in the black community just when it's a ribbon cutting or just when the cameras are around. You know what I mean? So because it can seem easy. It can seem like, or you got to be respected as a leader, or you know what I mean? But when we in the trenches, because that's what a lot of the young people saying. I don't see them when we're in the trenches, bro. You know what I mean? And it's like, so how do we address that? And
I ain't see them all through the 90s. I ain't see them all through the 2000s.
I'm thinking about like how they always talk about like Martin Luther King, and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say I feel like there hasn't been anything to really push them. But I feel like now that we're basically in a civil, equal rights kind of thing again, I feel like people talk about Martin Luther King, but as far as the church identity, I feel like it hasn't been there, as far as when they talk about Martin Luther King and stuff. Like now that we're in a civil, what's it called, or distress or whatever, civil distress. I'm like, what's the word? Like now that we're in there, it's like, okay, it's a lot of us, and we have to remember who we are first before we got into the business, I guess, before we got into a business, like.
So Shannon, what's your thought on it?
I think the churches definitely dropped the ball. I think the police have dropped the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all these deaths. You have no arrests. You have no leads. You don't have any of your old leaders coming out talking to these families, guiding them through this time of their life. Like they need somebody praying over them. They need somebody telling them like, okay, we're going to do this action for you, or we have this in place. It's none of that. Right. In regards to the young lady who just passed away, I feel like somebody made a post like, where was the black men at, or where was the peacemakers, or why no one out there rooting, rallying for this young lady? Like, and yes, we have the peacemakers. They do an amazing job. So Ezra came up. He's at every event.
Right.
And he's doing it. But we also need our black men to be behind and stand for these black women.
I agree.
Like,
Absolutely.
who is protecting? Who has a voice for this young lady?
I agree.
Absolutely. We actually got a caller on. Caller.
Hi, guys. It's Noelle again.
What's up, Noelle?
Hi. I'm so excited for the show. So, like, I definitely have to call in again. Number one, I found my Black Lives Matter sign, so I totally, thought that it got stolen. It didn't. Ryan like put it on the side of the shed. I made this big stink about it, but yeah. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about too is okay. So there was I don't know why people think that there's no such thing as that like white privilege. You know what I mean? Because it's happening right now, and I think there's a subject right now. I mean, as a white person, I'm getting really fed up for you guys because I don't know, but that Mariah woman that just got murdered about 2 weeks ago, she had the 2 little ones and everything. It was a homicide. So like, it's not even being talked about on the news. Nothing. Like they still haven't found like who did it. I just feel like they're not even working as hard. Like so many people don't even know about it, and I just feel like if like that one little white kid that got murdered and shot in the head, that was everywhere. And people said that it wasn't all over the news. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was on the news. It was national news.
Right.
This poor woman just got murdered, and I feel like it's nowhere. Like it got mentioned on like the Action or something, but like I don't see it anywhere on the news stations, and it sucks. Like people don't look at that as anything.
Yeah, and that's definitely unfortunate. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah,
because
it sucks.
For Niagara Falls, police and fire are the highest 2 paid in the city.
Right.
So we have enough police out there who can be able to solve one crime. Like if you have 5 crimes in this year, you haven't solved not one of them. It's a young lady who died and no one said anything.
Right.
No, they haven't even looked. Or I don't even know if they looked for this. You know what I mean?
Right. So that
it's ridiculous.
All that's going to do is just keep adding on, because now people are going to think I can do a crime and I can get away with it because your police are not going to do anything about it.
No, you know what? That's what I'm saying. Like people, not like I'm disrespecting police. There are good ones, but for people to sit there and say that, like, oh, you know, the police don't do anything bad. It's other people's stuff. Okay, what about like not long ago, me and my fiance had to make a call in about a car like that kept coming around, you know, and it was just like being creepy. They didn't want to do anything. They're like, oh, we'll just call back if they come back. So we called back when it came back. Oh, just call. Like they don't. I swear, sometimes they don't want to do anything, and like you said, there's enough police. Like, why aren't a lot of these things being handled and taken care of?
Yeah, I look at even with the murder of Mr. Richardson, 2 people just walked in
Yes.
his house and killed an elderly man.
How do you explain that?
How do you and how do you not at this time still don't know who in the small city of Niagara Falls?
Right.
Too many cold cases here.
Right, way too many. And then what happens is then you begin to question, okay, well, what is the quality of police and detectives that we have? Because if we can't get, if you're a detective and you know what I mean, and you can't solve cases, what is your point of your job? Like, you know, you're rallying when it comes time for these new budgets and these new contracts.
But that's when they say defund the police. People are like, oh, what do you mean by defund the police? I ain't talking about get rid of the whole police force. I'm saying do a better job at selecting people.
Because people always want to make it out to be like that. You know what I mean? They take it way farther than that.
My whole thing is requirements. If my requirements got to be 5 years for me to be a journeyman plumber, why can't this be the same thing for a police officer to be considered an officer? Why can't he be some type of cadet until he reaches 3-4 years or 5 years or something like that? Like, he needs to be experienced because it's ridiculous. Like, cases aren't being solved. People only want to bitch and complain when people want to get mad and say, like, you know, like, hey, we tired of you killing people that look like me. And they're like, oh, well, blue lives matter. Look, okay.
Right. There's no such thing as a blue lives. You know what I mean, too? It's like, that's why people are getting frustrated and taking shit into their own hands. Like, that's why people are starting to take things into their own hands. You feel like you can't even go to the police at all.
To me, it's like, it's an occupation. To me, it's like, I can't stop a person from feeling biases against me because I am who I am. I have no biases against a police officer if he treats me with respect. So if you're just looking at me like that sheriff that they got the audio of him getting mad at his wife talking to a black guy with dreads, he was calling him all type of N-words. It's like, come on, man. So how do you want me to sit back and believe that he didn't go out at work the next day and be like harass another black man with dreads?
Especially when you have proof of that. You know what I mean? You don't know how he's going to act outside.
Right, because the woman he loved shamed him at Walmart.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I can't stand when people have a problem with, a white person wanting to be with a black person or a black one. Like, what the fuck does it matter? And then those are the same people who want to be like, oh, well, I just want equality. Da 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 da. No, dude, you're putting on a fucking show in front of people, like, and then behind everyone's back, you're talking shit.
Like officers like that should not be. She should not be an officer. Like we need highly skilled people to be police officers. I'm sorry, Kayla. Go ahead.
I think we need a lot of black officers. I think we need to start hiring more too. In my opinion, I do.
Buffalo police got a lot, and it's the mind state. It's the mind state.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Buffalo is different. You can all you need is a high school diploma and X amount of hours, and you can be a police officer. Niagara Falls, you do at least have to have your college, your associates to do that.
Right.
But the difference is with Niagara Falls cops is that you're not gonna hear so much that the cops were beating on black men or they were aggressive, or we don't get that. That's the one thing that
they grew up with us.
Yes, they grew up on it. A lot of them, we went to high school with them.
Right.
They're chill.
Right.
One thing I can say, we have some good cops. We really do.
Yes.
But I also think they also are too comfortable. Mm-hmm. They're too comfortable.
I think it's who they have to answer to, the higher up ones. I think that's who it is. Like the cops we have are like decent, but the higher up people that they have to answer to is kind of the problem.
But I'm not blaming them. It's the training. To me, I was a correctional officer.
Needs to be better training.
To me, it's just training. Like, you got to train them in certain scenarios. Train these detectives, I guess, a better way. I haven't been a detective. I ain't going to tell them what to do. I've never been a detective. But
I feel like I am one sometimes.
I think it's just like, like, it got to be more scenarios, I guess, to get them prepared for certain things. I wasn't prepared to see a man being, hung in a cell. You know what I mean? There's certain things I've seen that still stick with me. Like, it's like, it should be better training for people, because certain things stick with people, and then that could change a person that was a good officer and make him a more grimy officer.
But I'm gonna tell you,
there should be like some mental health type of thing going on. You know what I mean? They should be able to get counseling and stuff.
Let me tell you that you just kind of about took the words fresh out of my mouth, because of the fact
they do offer it though. I can't lie, they do offer it.
They offer it, but I'm thinking there's more people need to be what's the word? Evaluated. You know what I mean? Screened before. You know what I mean? More screening.
Even every so often too. After so many years, I feel like you should have to keep getting screened. Because it changes you. It does. You see a lot of fucked up things and all that. Yeah.
You seeing multiple people die.
Right.
On a daily in some big cities. In Niagara Falls, we don't see it too often. But big cities, they seeing that, and that plays a part on the mental.
Right.
And I feel a lot of it is social media too. They see all these things, and now they want to be more aware and so quick to draw their guns now, thinking that they're going to get attacked. You know what I mean? So, I can't. My number one thing is I can't stand. Like, I have respect for cops who are respectful. I do. If they're going to do their job correctly, that's awesome. That's what we need. But I just don't like the fact that I've seen so many people lately now want to sit there and stick up for police officers when this is happening. And I just feel like some people don't understand that cops are people too, and there are bad apples out of the bunch. Like, they're not all. Like, people are like, oh, if you cooperate with the police, then there should be no problem. No, that's not true. There are a few police that are a problem. Like, they use their position of power. Just like we have so much corruption in Niagara Falls. Like, Dante and Comstock, going on with the fucking lawyer. Like, how come that guy is getting away with so much? And what I don't like is people are using Black Lives Matter for a lot of things. Like the Niagara Reporter, when they did that article on the rape victim, and they were like, oh, well, to start off, we support Black Lives Matter. But, okay, if you support Black Lives Matter, why don't you charge that motherfucker the same you would charge, a black man that was accused of something like that? You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, why are you using Black Lives Matter to make yourselves look good when it's just...
But, you got a lot of people. What happens that you have a lot of people that, like we were talking about earlier, you talk about Blue Lives, like I said, Smurf and Avatar Lives. And veteran lives, and what happens is all of these different, and they're all lives. That's another, slap in the face. But what happens is none of these different movements per se were ever raised prior to Black Lives Matter.
Exactly. They use your shit to make their own thing. Yeah.
Because you got footwork that's being done in that area now, regardless of whether people like to try to go deep. Oh, it's Marxism and all that.
I don't mess with Black Lives Matter, but I do support.
But you understand, and you understand. Here's the thing: as far as the organization is concerned, whatever. But the movement and what is basically the word. The
3 words.
Subject matter. Black Lives Matter, and we're not saying Black Lives Matter more than anybody else. We just want to matter just as much as everybody else. And all lives won't matter until Black lives begin to matter. Until Black people don't stop getting treated as target practice.
Right.
That's true. People don't want to listen. You know what I mean? Like, how long does it take for somebody to explain something? You just listen. Like, I even the one day I was upset when my fiance got into a motorcycle accident, right? And I was upset, and I guess the man who hit him and was going to take off was black. So I posted something. I was like, if anybody's seen the young man who's black who works for Spectrum, a girl got upset. She's like, all that was like kind of ignorant of you to say. And I'm like, oh, like I didn't know, like me, I didn't understand why. So out of respect, I took it. You're right. So she got upset, so I took it down, and I was like, hey, like, can you just explain to me why, so I don't make that mistake again? Like, even if everybody else doesn't agree with that, and it was just her. Like, it takes like 10 seconds to just be like, hey, can you just explain it to me so I don't make that mistake again?
Right.
So what I was thinking about as far as when you talk about accountability, is also knowing who you are. So they're saying like, my thing is, if you know that somebody thinks of you as less than what you are, like, it makes me think of the 3/5 law that still has not been abolished. It still exists.
Right.
Like, even when it comes to court cases, it's a 3/5. That's how they find out what the plea or whatever the time that you'll get.
Yeah, your sentence.
Your sentence. Yeah. Thank you. I'm like, I can't talk. That's how you get your sentencing. But my thing is, if you know who you are, you hold yourself accountable as well. Like, if somebody looks at you less than a dog, then I guess that would make you feel like less than a dog, but you will have to know that you have to do better. Right. You know what I mean? So I guess that is part of the accountability. But I don't know. It's just hard for me to say, like, because as a woman, I feel like they do give us a little bit more rights. I do. That's how I uplift my son, I guess. I'm thinking, like, not to talk to him in a negative way, but let him know that people aren't going to treat you like you want to be treated, but you have to make sure that you know who you are and that you continue to treat them the way that you want to be treated, because anytime you step outside of that, and he's only 6, but he still, he still sees that. You step outside of that, it's going to be an issue. So my first thing is to teach him that you are the best person that you can be, and you continue to work towards that. But I feel like that's just important. I feel like that's important to me.
Thank you so
much.
Just
like my kids, I want to. My kids, I want to raise them to like treat everybody equal. You know what I mean? So it starts like that too. You got to just kind of train your kids right now and teach them that what's okay, what's not okay.
Absolutely. We got another call. Thank you for calling,
sweetheart. Bye, guys.
Bye, Noel.
Black Reality Unscripted.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
What up? What is going on, everybody? Am I live first of all?
You're live.
Oh, okay. What's going on, Panda? How y'all doing, Shane? Everybody? How's everybody doing?
Hello.
All right. So I listen. Y'all know me. This Nick Young. I speak my mind. I don't care. It is what it is, right? So. I'm a father of 5 boys, right?
Congratulations.
So all I can do, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing,
no,
man.
It is.
Listen. Man. That's good, man. I see you.
I love all my kids. I take on kids. I take on the mentorship of just being able to step in and be a father figure for some of the kids who don't got it.
Right.
I get it. I didn't have it. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, you guys were talking about accountability, and we cannot, as a community, I'm not talking about just black folks, as a community, we can't sit here and expect for people, our elected officials, that we pay their salary, our police officers and our firefighters, that we pay their salary. We cannot expect for these people to care about us if we will not care about ourselves.
Thank you.
That's the very first thing.
Thank you.
Okay?
That's true.
We cannot sit here and expect these people to care about our kids when we don't care about our kids.
Say it.
You understand what I'm saying? When I say that, I mean to say this. If you're a mother, a father, whatever the case may be, your kids should be your very number one priority at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
From beginning to end. That's their education, their well-being, their everything. Okay? We got a lot of these kids out here running around acting stupid.
Right.
Where are your parents?
Speak on it.
Your parents should be with you or should know where you are. My kids cannot leave the house unless I know who you're hanging with. Little Nick, the other ones, they cannot leave the house. Right. I'm going up to Legends. For what? Who about to be up there? I don't know them kids.
I just had the same talk because when I was 12, 13, my son age, I was able to ride my bike.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Exactly.
I used to ride my bike from Willow Avenue to Highland. Yep.
Right.
From Highland to Midtown, and I would just ride my bike. But now my 13-year-old, my 12-year-old son, I won't allow him to ride his bike beside other than down the street. He can't. But that's how we grew up, and I know the times is different. But how do we get it back where our kids are safe enough so maybe you could ride from Main Street to Willow and you know your kid is safe?
I'm going to tell you what it is right now, okay? We, speaking on the people that's on this panel and anybody that can hear my voice, y'all know who the movers and shakers is in the community that's not doing what the hell they supposed to do. I'm not putting nobody else's name out there. I'm not saying nobody else's name. Everybody know who the people is, who hustle the drugs, who got the guns, who do everything else. Everybody know who the hell they is, okay? So what you do, you start calling the boys on them people that is doing shit that they not supposed to be doing, period. I don't care if they your kinfolk. I don't care if they your auntie, your uncle, however you start calling the people on them boys. Because the people that own the Red Room, I'm assuming from what I heard, I could be wrong, are some of the movers and shakers who do shit that they ain't supposed to be doing in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? You got all of these people who's getting money illegally, buying up property, fixing it up, and using it for illegal purposes. So why ain't nobody saying nothing about it? What y'all scared for?
Right.
What y'all scared for? Scared for what? What you scared about? I don't live that life. Right. I don't sell drugs. I don't pimp. I'm not a pimp.
Right.
I don't do none of that. I am a law-abiding citizen. I raise my kids. I'm a family man. That's the life I live. That's the life I want my kids to live. So if you coming against that, that's when I got a problem with you.
Facts.
And I don't care who you is. I don't care who you is, family or not.
But that's how
you got to be a standard.
It's just across the board. Across the board. Don't show up at no rally. Don't show up at no protest. Don't show up at nothing if you ain't got your shit straight.
Right.
Well, that's another thing that I wanted. That's another thing that I wanted to bring up too, because we had these protests and we had a lot of voices that was really ready to scream off at the police, which
they're not even here no more.
And watch this,
they're not even here.
They're not even. And what happens is no legislation has changed. Nothing. They did nothing that day. You know what I mean? Yes, we understand. You know the right to get your voice out, but however, the follow up was zero. Right. No one shows up at a city council meeting. No one shows up to speak out against a lot of the craziness that's happening right now. But
they wouldn't.
We have hundreds of people. We seen the pictures. We all got the news clips and the articles. We see
I
all the
was
pictures
there with you. Me, Dante, and Ezra was there standing on the line, man. So then none of y'all dumbass people in there trying to go against the cops mess around and get y'all asses shot.
Right.
That's what it was. That's facts. And you think I'm lying? Look at the picture.
You see it. You know what I mean? So
look at the picture.
I think it needs to be more than Ezra. Like Ezra cannot just do like we need the community behind us. Like if we got Ezra going in at every meeting, that's one voice.
Right.
We got Dante going in. That's two voices.
Right.
You can't make a screen with just two voices in the room.
Sure.
We need everybody in the room at the same time.
It goes deeper into and that's what the level of politics, because people, we think it's just something that we can just react off of our emotions and start screaming and going off. Right. But at the end of the day, it's deeper than that. We have to get into the political area. You know what I'm saying? Get into that political space to talk. And guess what? Organizing and mobilizing. That's so important. We have to be able to go into city council, but make sense. Because a lot of times we speak from emotion, we scream and we talk about, we don't put out a lot of facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We talk about a lot of stuff that's dealing with our emotions, but
Yeah.
we need to talk to the people that's actually going to make decisions.
Right.
People who
Exactly.
they voting on how they going to spend your money.
So with all these murders, I
For
haven't
real.
seen
For
all
real.
those people that took a knee say a thing.
And
yet.
say nothing. Nothing.
No, because they don't listen. They're not trying to hear that. They're not trying to hear that. Okay? They came for the picture, for the photo op, because at the time, that is what was nationally accepted.
Right.
So they wanted to get that photo op so that they could show Niagara Falls is doing their part. Right? But for real, what really matters, like we worried about this whole presidential election and shit, that has nothing. Our vote, yes, it controls a part of it, but the electoral college is what controls the presidential vote. So you get all of these people voting. Yes, okay, yeah, that's good. Exercise your right to vote, but get your ass to them voting booths when it comes time to elect your local officials.
Right.
When you start to affect your local officials, that's when you're able to affect change. You can't do nothing when you go in here voting for whoever you gonna vote for a president. That's not gonna do shit. You know what you do? Go in there when they start picking out mayors. Go in there when they start picking out sheriffs. Go in there when they start picking out school board officials. Go in there when they start doing all of that good shit that affects the street that you live in, because that's where your money goes. Oh yeah, that census that everybody's supposed to fill out that ain't nobody paying attention to. That shit is important too, because that's how we get all the federal money to fix our shit that we got here in Niagara Falls. And you know what? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Dante, I spoke to you before, and I told you how much I want to be able to help my city. I can't even find a place in my city that is safe enough to keep my kids safe. I got to patrol my own. I gotta patrol my own. I gotta be able to fight and defend my house in case somebody walk up in there. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. And as a parent, it's just real frustrating because you don't have a community behind you, and you don't have the right type of people with the right type of mind that is on the same page.
I agree.
Because half of the people they're just not on it. You don't care. Half of the Niagara Falls, half of us, we don't care, and it's sad. But you know what? It's gonna cause enough. It's gonna be one thing in the falls that's really gonna erupt, and it's just gonna go off the meter. That girl died 4 houses to the left of me.
That's crazy.
I got home that night. I didn't hear a peep. I didn't hear nothing. And I always got my dad ears is always on. Because I got 4, like I said, I got 5 kids. I gave video footage, because my whole area around my house I gave everything I got to the cops. They got to find that whoever did whatever they did to that girl, man. They got to find them.
Crazy.
They got to find them. And I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this last thing because I don't want to hold y'all hostage. I challenge all of our leaders, the ministerial council, the city council members, everybody. I challenge anybody who has a voice, who is tired of hearing this shit that's going down in the falls, who's tired of seeing the drug dealers, the friggin' people at hometown sitting on the damn corner, blowing off fireworks, shooting up in the air, fighting all around the city. If you tired of this shit, you need to get up off your ass and go do something about it. Go up to the corner. If you gotta call the people, call the people. Go up to the corner, let them know, listen, can y'all please move it down, whatever the case may be. It's a way that you can address people where they will understand you and they will listen to you, and there's a way that you could just be ignorant and stupid. But I challenge everybody, if you hear something or you see something, you need to say something. Because this shit is not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. And all that's going to happen, we going to change election people when their term is done. Or matter of fact, out of the what we got, 450,000 people in the falls. Out of the amount of people, okay, 48. You got that amount of people that's in the falls, right? 1,900 of y'all come out and vote every single time that it's time for a vote. That shit don't make no goddamn sense. That shit don't make no sense. I teach my 5 kids, when you get old enough, I'm about to take you out to vote. I need to explain everything to you. I need to explain how this shit go down. In the meantime, I need to teach you how to be a young man. I need to help you raise into the man that you need to be, that the world sees you as, and I need you to understand and see the difference. But I challenge everybody that if you see something, you need to speak up and say something, because you never know. For every action that happens, there's a reaction to what is exactly about to happen. It might not be directly correlated to what the hell just happened, but I guarantee you, in the universe work in mysterious ways, God, however you want to put it, whatever you believe in, but I guarantee you, y'all need to start saying something and speaking up. And these properties, everything else, listen, that red room, I was just talking to my kids, man. I'm ready to be like, I'm thinking about going to the owner of the Red Room, be like, listen, I got $100,000 for you right now, and I'm about to make this into a youth center, right where it's at. Because you know what? These people that's going to these auctions, they letting these people that's got this money, right? These are the movers and shakers that do the shit in the fall that they ain't supposed to do, that we just allow to walk our streets where our kids be at, right? So they buy up these houses super, super, super cheap. $750 for that red house. That's what that man bought that house for. $750. That's ridiculous. And all behind that, a kid died, or a young man died. Whatever he was there for, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? God rest his soul. My condolences out to the Coleman family, man. You know, but shit need to stop. And as a dad, this shit bothers me to my core, And I appreciate y'all taking my call. Absolutely. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, Dante, Shayna. I'm sorry, I don't really. I've never met the rest of y'all, Kayla. And you know, Kemsa, and Kemsa, man. I appreciate y'all having this outlet and appreciate me letting me come in and speaking today.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for your call, my brother.
Appreciate you calling in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stay up. Hey, the true story is this. You know, he made all valid points, right. And when it comes down to it, but here's the thing about it. One thing that you know is when people don't have to deal with, when we have people in office that are detached from all of the crap that we're going through in the middle of our city. These people who are living on the outskirts and it's not at their front door. Oh, hold on, wait. This call. What's going on, Martha?
Hi, Dante. How y'all doing?
We're going good.
How you doing?
Good.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Martha. Hi, love.
So I was calling. I don't want to hold up the line. I'm gonna make it quick, but I feel like Shayna, she made a valid point about there not being enough women out here representing, leading, or just showing up when it's needed. So I just wanted, everyone's opinion or thought on why you guys think that is, because I definitely feel like it's lacking. Like when Shayna was saying, like, it's not going to just take Ezra. It's not going to just take Dante. So now I hear those two names, and I'm like, where's the women's name? You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we really need out here. We need the women to show up and, do what we got to do. So what do you guys think? Why do you guys think that is? Why don't we have strong leading women in the city of Niagara Falls?
I think they're busy working. I ain't going to lie. I think a lot of them working really hard. I ain't going to lie. Like, my mom, like, she's very accredited, got her degrees, but she's always working. Like, always working, and I feel like she always got to push that goal that she, that she's made it. Like, and I was like, Ma, you made it. Like, you don't got to keep working so hard. You know what I mean? Like, I think the lack of, and I hate to come at my own men, but the lack of good black men around our area to also be that backbone for the woman, so she can also have that time. Is lacking. So I feel like they got to do both. They got to be the mom and dad and support the household. So how can they go out and still have that time? So I kind of feel for the woman right now.
Let's get a perspective from the ladies over there, because
I could be wrong.
No, hey, no.
I don't know, because my sister asked me this question the other day, and she asked me, she's like, why do you try so hard for the city? Like, why won't you just really? Yeah, like, just stop. Like, she told me, like, do you really think you're going to get the results and something's going to change in Niagara Falls? And honestly, I do. But I also seen both of my grandmothers, God rest their soul, that they fought for their community. My grandmother was walking to people's house. My one grandmother made sure that everybody on her block got a Christmas gift. Yeah, it wasn't nothing that you wanted or you needed, but she did that.
Right.
So we need that old head too. We need those your aunts and your grandmothers coming in, like getting us up off our ass. Because yes, we're working. Yes, we're busy, but we are growing. We got kids in this community, so we gotta be out there. Like me and Martha, we had teamed up to do something. Like as women, we have to work together. We can't do it.
Go ahead, Kayla. What you
So as
feel?
far as for me, like when I noticed that Shayna was doing it, like I did things before, but as far as me being a single mama too, you know what I mean? Like that was hard for me to do certain things and, you know, caring for my household. So like you said, having people who are in the same position as you, I have aren't, you know, they can't fend for themselves essentially, you know what I mean? So even being here right now, I'm kind of looking at the clock, like not rushing you guys, but looking at the clock, because when I was on the board for, you know, Niagara Falls for the community center, that was draining, you know what I mean? I had to make a lot of, you know, sacrifices to do that, but it's not that I feel like it's not that they're not there. It's just that community aspect is like having people that's gonna be like, yo, Kayla, you gotta do this today. You know, I can keep the kids. Like I do have my mom, but I'm saying like working and doing a lot of things. I was doing a lot of stuff, and it was getting a little hard, you know. So just having that I would say village appeal or that community appeal, just having someone that's gonna be like, you doing a whole bunch, but I got you.
Yeah, you need a big sister. You need a big sister, a big mentor. Like you need somebody to say like, yeah, okay, I got your back. You know, I'll watch your kids. We can do this. You go to this meeting this day, and then I'll go next day. Like, I think it's gonna take all of us to work together, and you can't keep having the same handful of people doing this job
because they get burned out. Like you said, I have a support system, but I was doing a lot. You know what I mean? So
I'm on like 5 board meetings, or like I'm in 5 groups right now, and every Tuesday I have the social justice committee. I have this committee with Dante, another committee with St. Quinn, another, like, and it's just like
I feel like they burn out the leadership. They will burn out the leadership. Like, oh, this person, they represent us. Like, you can't have one person representing the whole flock. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like they got that one person, and people will be okay with that. Like, oh, I see her over there. That's good. Like.
But Martha, really we do need to maybe start like a women's group, you know, and that may even be able to push our men.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you're gonna, as a man, seeing a black woman work this hard, even a white woman, like whatever woman it is, like our men have to be behind us. Like, you know what? Okay, they doing this. I'm gonna pick up and I'm gonna help them there. Like, but it's gonna start for us. Like, we can only keep having the conversation for so long. We need some type of action.
So
and that's why I've been. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. There.
And that's why I've been saying, you know, me and Ezra Scott, we have conversations sometimes, and I've been saying to him like, yo, we need to start a women's group. I really want to start a women's group. And I spoke to Tina. She's a peacemaker. She was also very interested. It was funny because me and her are very like-minded. She came to me like, yo, Martha, we need to start a women's group. And I was like, oh, that's crazy, because I was just, you know, bringing that up to Ezra. So there is a lot. I feel like there is a lot of Shaynas and Marthas, Tinas out there, but we really just need to link together, because that's why my favorite quote, I think it's by Robert Ingersoll. I could be saying that wrong, but it's called "We All Rise Together," because it's not going to be one person doing it. It's not going to be 2, but it's going to take a group of us. It's going to take a group of us, like-minded women, to really be out here to really push change. And we also have to not just talk, but lead by example.
Yes.
So, Trina, I'm holding you accountable, hold me accountable. We really need to get together and push that for our women out here.
And also,
I'm about to get a group chat started. Don't worry.
As
soon as I leave, Martha, like, we gonna do it, and it's, you know, it's no more talking. Like, we out here doing it.
Right.
True story is this.
It's gonna take a group of us.
Right.
I heard some noise. My bad.
No, we're good. Okay, you here?
And you know what, Martha? It's probably a lot of women like us out there that just don't know how to start or where to, you know, what they need to do. So if we have a platform, like, it should open up the doors.
Well, watch this. Here's the thing. This is what I love about what we're doing now, because I'm fine with using what we have right here today. Everybody that's watching, that's like-minded, and that's, you know what I'm saying, that's ready to really put your hands to the plow. You know what I mean? Because it's going to take a collective. hey, let's begin to create. We have to recreate community, I think. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I remember, like, I always talk about it, and I'm going to keep talking about it. I remember Village. I remember what it was like to have the old heads, the OGs that was out. You know what I mean? That allowed me to walk the streets. You know what I mean? Like to walk to the store,
and you felt safe.
And you knew you were safe.
You knew you were safe.
You didn't even think about anybody. And guess what? Here's the truth. It wasn't that crime or drugs wasn't around back then. Mm-hmm. It was still around back then. But there was an unspoken code. You didn't mess with kids back then. Right. You wasn't going to walk up in some elderly person's house and shoot them dead and then think that you were going to be all right and walk these streets afterwards. You was going to get found and you were going to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different level of our culture needs to be shifted and not thrown away, but it needs to be a readjustment and the tweaking of our culture. You know what I mean? So we begin to respect who we are, where we live in our surroundings. But I'm with y'all, like, and also men, we have to be on the same level of supporting the women that decide to have these movements. Right. We can't act like we got it all under control and we'll take care of this. Y'all just follow our lead or whatever the case is, because in most cases you will get burned out if you're doing it righteously. If you're not doing it to just try to get some type of clout or some type of name or whatever the case is, if you're doing it for a righteous reason, you will get burned out. You will be exhausted and tired. Trust me. But when you have women that are willing to rock with you, right? You know what I'm saying? Why not take that? Take that help, because we need it. You know what I'm saying? And there are people, and we're not the only ones. And I know, my name, Ezra, and myself, our name get mentioned out. But there are some people out. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes in certain areas. You know what I mean? That may be doing some righteous work as far as community is concerned. But we need help, you know what I'm saying? And it's a good feel when you have, women that will be willing to roll with you. And watch this. And it's not, you're not behind us, pushing us. You know what I mean? You're working right along with us. You know what I mean? It's a collective effort. So no one is greater than the next. You know what I mean? You're not over the women. You know what I mean?
And that goes back to what Nick's saying. Like, we can't keep looking at our mayor for help or our police for help. If this is our community, we said it's ours, we take it back.
Right.
We fix it brick by brick. And yes, it's not going to be something that's going to be overnight. It may take years. But if we have a solid team that can do it, we can take it back. We can have businessmen. We can own property. Right. I can fix your credit. And we can do it. Like,
you can?
Yes.
I need to talk to you.
Yes. I know this credit. Like, we can really do this, but we have to do it all together.
Absolutely.
Right. And like I said, I always like to stress when it comes to any group, or I don't even know if you really want to necessarily call it a group, but it has to be people that are like-minded, because I feel like a lot of times what fails, people have this great initiative, we gonna do this, we gonna change this, and then what makes all that fail is the titles, or this person doing this or this person doing that. Like, nah, once again, we all write together. It's going to take us collectively doing something together in order to really make a change. It's not that one person is getting this clout or this, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it turns into, people want to look, take ownership for everything that's going on, or make it look like it's all coming from them. That's the number one thing I can't stand, because there's enough seats at the table for everybody. Everybody has their time to shine. Everybody has their talent. And I hate titles, because without everybody working together, the job can't be done. Right. Whether you're the person behind the stage, you're the face, you doing the media, whatever you want to call it, it takes all of us together. So to definitely keep that, we want, not with just our men, but with our women, we want like-minded people. And then also, I don't know if you guys remember back when Ezra was campaigning, his slogan was connected and protected. That's like my vision for Niagara Falls. A connected city is a protected city that eventually will flourish. You know what I'm saying? In every aspect. When it comes to businesses, jobs, everybody's wealth, all of that. Crime, diminishing, all of that. So, but thank you, y'all. I don't want to keep it going, because I'm sure there's other people calling. But
well, thank you for calling in, love.
Martha, I'm going to get that group together.
Yes, please.
Thank you for calling in.
All right, thank you.
No, I mean, because I'm looking at some of the comments as well. and we had a comment from Damon Grant. I want to kind of probably make it, clarify. I don't think that they're trying to have, separatism or being divided when it comes down to women. What happens is, I read this book. It's called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And one thing that it showed me, and that has been a lifelong lesson, and I'm going to take to my grave with me, is the fact that men and women are different. And we're supposed to be different, right? Women have strengths and different things that men don't, and vice versa. And then there are things that we can share together. When women come together and they're actually coming together for the sake of to help, we're all on this. Even if we're coming off of we spoke on that last time. When you and Hugo, you was kind of sparring a little bit with each other with two different ideas. We could come from two different streets, but we're going to end up at the same. You know what I'm saying? We're going for the same goal. We're gonna end up. You know what I mean? So, I think that's a beautiful thing for the women to actually come together, because in their whole they're understanding that they're gonna play their part in the forward movement of what we need. You know what I'm saying? So, I know we're getting kind of past it. We got past the hour a little bit, but it gets real nice and juicy. You know what I mean? So we're gonna close out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to the ladies really quick. If there is a 1 minute message that you would want to give, pretty much far as community is concerned, when it comes down to us being held accountable and us holding ourselves accountable, and us actually, like you said, you guys were saying also, and I totally agree 100%, is pretty much taking the bull by the horns when it comes to our community, our neighborhoods within the community. What message would you give? I'll start with Shayna.
Okay. I have so many.
Yeah.
I know I put you on the spot real quick, but
I would say just going on the current events that's happening right now in our city. Those families that are hurting, find a way to, even if it's sending a card in the mail, writing a nice message, or sending some food, try to be there for them, so that way there's no more killing, or we can lessen the killing. Like, if they know that they have the support by them from their community, then we can prevent another black man from dying from another. If it was another black man, I don't know, I'm just saying.
Right.
But we have to find a way to be there for each other.
Right.
Kayla.
I'm a nosy Nancy, and I like to know who my neighbors are. So if you've been in your neighborhood, get to know your neighbor. You know what I mean? I have small kids, and my neighbors look out for my kids. So what's important to me is a village. I always say the village appeal is I am because we are. Like, because I am who I am, we are able to grow. And because who are you? Because of you are who you are. So just really reaching out and getting to know your neighbors. Like, if you never spoke to your neighbor, just say, hey, hi, I've been next to you for the last 5 years, and this is my name. You know what I mean? So getting that neighbor, neighborly. Is it that the word? Being neighborly.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So just being neighborly and getting to know who's around you, just in case if you see something strange, you're like, hey, someone stopped at your house today. Like,
right.
It's not about people like you being nosy. I want my neighbor to be nosy, because if a stranger comes to my house, you know what I mean? I want them to know, like, oh, not like in the sense that, oh, who was at your house, but to know and look out for you. Like,
Just
so
know that didn't look right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
Because that's
be those
important.
extra eyes.
Mm-hmm. So say hi to your neighbor today. I know that sounds that sounds
that's good.
funny.
That's good. I love
But
that.
for real, like,
Absolutely.
Mr.
Kempsa.
Only thing I have to say is I think that as a people, we should just have more respect for one another, and just know that we all have families and we all hurt the same. You know what I mean? And that goes for black and white people.
Right,
So, like,
right.
if we're going to change anything, we definitely have to come together. That's why I said, like, next summer, I don't know how to make it happen, but I want, like, a festival of all cultures, different foods, ethnicities. I said this overall. Coming together.
I got you.
Coming together and just, talking and having that melting pot and somehow breaking what's bad in our communities and, building bonds so we can oust out what's bad in our community and praise what's good. You know what I mean? Because we don't have those festivals anymore. Like I said, we don't have that, you know, the festival of lights in the winter anymore where you see everybody in the community get together. You see your friends. Like, you don't see all that no more. So, like, the city's dead, but we can somehow revive it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's the COVID, man.
I'm going to tell you,
That's true.
one of the big things for me is that we have to, and that's why I love the word of accountability.
Yes.
We have to stop turning a deaf ear and a blind eye to what's wrong. And I have to agree wholeheartedly. I mean, when I say wholeheartedly to my man Nick, it's like, yo, when something goes wrong, we can't just bark when it's feasible, you know, because it can be a touchy situation when you're dealing and addressing your own people,
Right.
people that look like you, the people that live around you. So, but the true story is that has to happen.
Right.
These uncomfortable conversations have to happen. So no more turning of deaf ears. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Call wrong, praise right. You know what I'm saying? And stand up. So in Village, again, the Village appeal, that's everything for me. You know what I mean? Because I knew how it felt when I was a child.
It's like a kid, right?
You know what I mean? You feel like you're protected. And again, yes, a connected city is a protected city. So we'll leave off on that, and I thank every last one. Again, I would love to thank Peter and Ohio Barb and the Yowawa Media Productions for allowing us to have this platform. This is amazing, you know what I'm saying? And we appreciate everyone that watched. We ask you to tune in next Saturday. We'll be here again at 5:00. Hey, we thank you for all the callers that and those who comment, and we will be looking through these comments and maybe be able to touch on some of the things if there's comments or issues. And if anyone who watched this later, if you have any questions or issues or whatever the case is, feel free to comment on here so we can kind of like go over them and maybe we can answer a few things next week.
And next show, I do want to do like a small topic. I want everybody's opinion on what's going on in sports, like how they feel, like how certain organizations are handling things.
Can I comment
and
right now?
Your positions.
Can I comment? I want to comment right now.
Go ahead.
So I'm thinking about, okay, I want to comment. I know what you're saying, but to finish your question, I apologize. You didn't get to say your question.
Go ahead.
No, finish. I want to know his side first, like as far as what was his question. Like I butted in because I know.
I'm waiting for next week.
Okay.
To give my my take.
So it goes into, so even then we talked about the Black Lives Matter thing, but my thing is not let us be so like excited because somebody's supporting us, because if I say, hey, I support you because somebody watching me, but then when something really happened, you'd be like, where you at?
Right.
You know what I mean? So as far as for sports, I'm thinking they ain't been making a lot of money. So now that, the money coming back around, they got to do certain things to make people be like, woo! You know what I mean? So in my sense, it's like, it's for show. You know what I mean? Game. You got to do what you got to do to get that money. And then, so if you stand still for 3 days, when the 3 days pass, you can go back to your business, and I don't have to talk about that again, because you remember when you did that? So don't be so excited that people jumping on a bandwagon of support and thinking that is really making a difference.
All right, so what we're going to do?
Next episode for next week.
Right, that's what I was about to say. We got to save some of this heat for next week. We got to save some of this heat for next week. But okay, but that's a good topic. So that's something for you guys to think about. I'm not going for next week.
So that was exciting.
Hey, no, it's all good. It's all good. So again, we appreciate that. So hey, tune in next week. We'll be looking for you. Black Reality Unscripted. We're here. Peace out.
Oh, I feel for my brother.